Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the today's meeting of the First Nations Relations Committee, Wednesday, November 6th. Looks like we have quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. First of all, acknowledging that we are in the traditional territory of the Lake-Wet'suwet'en people. And a motion to adopt today's agenda.
So moved.
Move adoption.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. All in, sorry, excuse me. All in favor of today's agenda? Any abstentions? Motion's carried. Thank you. Moving on, petitions and delegations. There are none today. Moving on to adoption of previous meeting minutes.
So moved.
Moved. Thank you, Director
Second.
Ivanich.
Oh,
Davis.
Your mic's a bit quiet, just so you know, Martin.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Minutes, business arising from the minutes. Was there anything?
If anyone, this is their opportunity. If someone has something you wish to say about that, they can take it. No worries.
So there's nothing from the arising from the minutes. We will move on. That's mine. Chair report.
Sure, only pop-
Just thank you everyone for being here today. I guess at this time, so everybody understands it's very difficult for me to be here today. It's my niece's funeral this morning, and but there's very important business that needs to be taken care of. So I'm here. And again, thank you, everyone.
Move receipt.
Thank you. Moved. Seconded. Thank you. Carrying on to staff reports. UBCM C2 forum.
move receipt of the report.
Thank you, Director Riley. Seconder.
Second.
Thank you, Director
And
Mohammed.
Azalee will speak to this, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Good morning, committee. Thank you, Chair. The staff report before you is just to provide a debrief on the UBCM province-wide community-to-community forum held in Vancouver on September 16th. We didn't have a First Nation Relations Committee in October, so I just thought I'd just mention a few of the highlights. The event facilitated a day of dialogue around building relationships and advancing reconciliation with a municipal or a regional lens. And some of the keynote sessions were residential school impacts and addressing truth-telling, highlighting the TRC and the independent special interlocutor Kimberly Murray's work on missing children and unmarked graves. In your minutes, there will be a press release on her final report. If anybody has the time, it'd be wonderful to go read that. And another session was on land use planning collaborations, notably between the city of Port Alberni, Tashot, and Hupatcheseth First Nations. Also, the City of Vancouver presented its UNDRIP action plan. And there was also a session on the inclusive regional government, which was shared by the West Bank First Nation and the Regional District of Central Okanagan. We've brought that to you in correspondence before. So these are some of the topics that are widely discussed right now regarding First Nations relations. So I would like to thank the SRD for giving me the opportunity to attend in person. It motivated me. I was also happy to see many city officials as well as regional district staff there as well as regional directors. So thank you for attending. It was an important session. And also, I forgot to mention that there was a keynote speech from Justice Minister Honorable Jody Wilson-Raybould, and she addressed the forum on advancing reconciliation and reinforcing the essential role of local governments in implementing works that respect Indigenous rights. And I know that quite a few folks attended, so I mean, if anybody wanted to add on that, I would like to hear that. Thank you.
Move receipt of the report.
Second.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for bringing your report to this agenda and to this meeting. I also attended the full day community to community forum, and there was certainly a lot of valuable learning that was presented. For me, something that really sticks with me is the remarks of the former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould, and something that, you know, she was sharing a message of advancing reconciliation in uncertain times, and that being the political climate that we have federally and somewhat provincially as well lately. And she used the analogy of the turtle, which only moves forward if it sticks its neck out. And she suggested that we are like turtles and we only move forward when we stick our necks out. And she really called on local government leaders to be the turtle with their necks out and to demonstrate to other levels of government that we are moving forward. So, you know, here as a committee, we are able to make motions and recommendations to the board on meaningfully advancing reconciliation. So I just like to think of us as courageous turtles with our necks out moving forward.
Any other discussion? Go ahead, Director.
Is that me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was sorry I was unable to attend it. I fully intended to, but I had meetings scheduled with government representatives. They started pretty early at this UBCM, so apologies that I couldn't make it, but I'm glad to see that this process is moving ahead. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of receipt? Abstentions? Motion's carried. Thank you. Moving on, First Nations Reconciliation Framework.
Move receipt of the report.
Second.
Thank you.
And Renee will speak to this and introduce the team.
I will speak to it, Chair. Thank you. The report before you provides an update on the First Nations Reconciliation Framework. At the beginning of 2024, the SRD board committed to creating a First Nation reconciliation framework that would take measurable steps towards building stronger relationships with First Nations whose territories the SRD operates within. This project went to the board because the First Nation Relations Committee provided the recommendation to the board. My role as the First Nations liaison is largely guided by the TRC, UNDRIP, and DRIPA frameworks. The reconciliation framework will be an action plan that is tailored or customized to our role as a regional government, which is unique to us. This project will unfold in 3 phases, and it is a crucial step, phase 1, because First Nations may not have the capacity or interest, and this phase will help us better understand any barriers to engagement. At the same time, internal work will continue to work towards reconciliation efforts to improve training, education, policy review, and applying and building on best practices. Outside expertise was sought through an RFQ, or a request for quotations, during the summer of 2024 to assist in developing the framework. We also thought it best to inform the nations early of what we're up to. In the spring of 2024, a letter was sent informing the nations of the initiative and that we are beginning the work to find a consultant for the framework. The chief of the Clahous First Nation, Chief Stephen Brown, expressed interest in the project and assisted with shortlisting applicants. In October, we entered into a contract for phase 1 with Pam Shaw and Associates. Briefly highlighted in your staff report are their expertise, experience, and credentials. With that, I am pleased to welcome Pam Shaw, Monique, and Celeste McKay to the committee. Thank you. Yes, Pam, if I can welcome you to present yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and my gratitude to all of you for inviting us in to the meeting today, and to the chair. I'm so sorry about today for you. I am here with my partners on this project, and delighted to be working for you on this. It's an exciting project, and I commend this committee and the SRD for stepping forward in this work. And as Aaliyah, you made the comment around courageous turtles. And I think there's a lot of courage attached to this project as well. It's a big project. It will have implications, I think, for many other local governments and for other parties in British Columbia who will be very interested in this work. And I commend you for stepping forward and wanting to move this project along. I'll say, just by way of introduction, I am a planner by trade. I've been a planner for a long time, almost 40 years, through British Columbia and Alberta. For the last 25, 30 years focused here on Vancouver Island. And most of my work has been with nations, looking at planning issues, economic development, community planning, community engagement. And when I saw the call come forward for working on this project, I was very excited to bring together some of the things I've been working on and to work with 2 incredible individuals on this project, as well as work with SRD staff and this committee to move something forward. So Monique, how about I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Pam. Yeah, I just want to echo what Pam said. We're really excited to be working on this project. I think it's ambitious. I come to this work with a lot of optimism. And so working on this big, important project is a perfect thing for our team. So to introduce myself, my name is Monique McKay. I come from Red River. I'm Métis. I have a background in law and Indigenous rights work. Probably the thing that describes me best is as a mediator, but I do lots of different work in across different conflict resolution disciplines, including being an ombuds, and do a lot of Indigenous advocacy work. So I'll turn it over to Celeste.
Hello, everyone. To the chair, I'm sorry for your loss, and my condolences to you. I'm coming to you today from Treaty 1 territory and homeland of the Red River Métis, and I am Red River Métis as well, and Monique's sister. So in case anybody was wondering, yes, we're sisters. And I have a background in social work and law, and I'm a consultant who's focused on social policy and human rights, particularly international human rights of Indigenous peoples, and have done a fair amount of work in the area of truth, reconciliation, and healing, and the UN Declaration. And so I'm really pleased and honored to be doing this work as well. Thank you. And I don't know, Monique, if I want to pass it back to you to kind of outline where we are at this stage.
Sure. I'm happy to kind of review what the different stages we're doing. I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with the project, so I'll do a high-level review, and then we're happy to answer any questions at all about next steps in this project and also about our background. So the first thing we're going to do is a high-level internal review. We're hoping to start interviews very soon with all of you and district staff, and just understand some of the benefits you see in creating this framework, any challenges that you see, any questions you have about how this framework might work going forward. So we're looking forward to getting to know you all better and getting to know the unique circumstances in the district. We'll make some recommendations after that about the readiness for this project and any opportunities for learning and growth. We'll help with capacity planning and send that to you in pretty short order. And then we'll do the initial engagement with the First Nations in the district. We're going to be really flexible about how we do this and all the work throughout the project, of course. So some of those First Nations might want to do their initial engagement on a one-on-one basis. They might want to do it in groups. So we're completely flexible about how we do that. Then we'll determine the best structure to move forward. That may be with the existing working group. We may make a special task force or recommend that. Just bringing the right people to work on this together, maybe expanding that group a little bit, but really seeing, deciding on what that structure will look like based on all our engagement to date. One of the things we're looking forward to the most is an engagement event where we'll bring everybody together. You know, of course, we want to be responsive to what we're hearing, so we don't have that that set out exactly, but we can offer educational opportunities about the declaration, about the TRC, about how those things might work in a framework. So we have a lot of expertise to offer, and we'll customize that engagement session based on what we heard about what you want. We'll follow that up with an engagement map so we can all be clear about the path forward. And then we know this is a long-term project, of course, so we'll support the staff in looking for funding opportunities as we move forward so we can keep the good work going. So I'll leave it there. And again, we're happy to answer any questions about how that process looks and anything about our background that you might be interested in. Celeste or Pam, did you want to add to that at all? Okay.
Thank you, everyone. We'll open it up for any questions.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to welcome Monique, Pam, and Celeste. Really appreciate having you on board with us and just looking at the wealth of your experience. It really feels like this is going to be a meaningful process with meaningful outcomes, and just grateful for you to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And I echo what Director Vinesh said. I do have a question that I noticed something in the report states that in early 2025, the consulting team will present a report with the process for co-developing the framework and strategies for continuing reconciliation efforts in the SRD. I'm wondering if the idea is to present to the First Nations Relations Committee or to the full board, or if the presentation would come first, at least at a certain level, to the First Nations Relations Committee and then to the board. I'm just wondering what the plan is for that.
I think it'll likely come to the First Nations Committee and then the board.
Okay, great. That was best case scenario. That's what I was hoping for.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just happy to see this work carrying on, and I get just a few words for myself and on reconciliation and it's a building process, and in our culture, we have a word, hishukish tsawakish, means everything is connected. Everything and everyone is connected. And that's some of the things that have been lost during, residential schools and everything. My father was, he was taken, and so I have firsthand experience and the pain that comes with that. I always say I wear the scars on my back from my father's pain. Just what he put me through, what he's gone through in residential school, and to get where I'm at today, I had to heal myself. And the words that helped me was what my mother said was it wasn't his fault. And it wasn't my father's fault for what happened to him, being taken to residential school and everything he's gone through. So in that aspect, I was able to forgive my father. That's where my mind started. I belong to a generation that does not speak our own language. I've never been involved in any of my culture until I had my kids. My kids know more of my language than I do. But I started again because I wanted to be there for my kids and show them a better life. So to me, that's where it starts for me. It may be on a government, government to government level. It may be on a religious level, whatever it may be, but reconciliation is at all levels, even our common citizens. So, and then learning to work together, and everything that I've seen since we've been treaty and coming here to the SRD, and seeing, like the report that's on the agenda today, this is very dear to my heart. In this day and age, we need this to be able to work together, to be able to build better government, better lives for all our people. In the end, that's all that matters is preserving life for our future generations. So this reconciliation framework is excellent, and it's I'm so happy to see where it's going. And there are almost 200 different nations on the island here, and each nation has their own different protocols when it comes to different things. So learning these processes from the individual nations, we all have our own dialect. We don't speak one language. We all have different dialects, and we share a lot of common culture, beliefs. And, you know, that just goes to show Hishukish Chawakish, you know, everything is connected, everything is one. So to be able to rebuild, you know, I guess my grandfather was said before I took on politics when I was 20, 21, when I first got elected for my nation. My grandfather said, if I'm going to do this for the people, I need a healthy heart, I need a healthy mind, and forgiveness goes a long ways. That brings me to where I am today, and the man that I am today, and the work that I've done for the Kayukachaks people and all other people living in Kayukachaks area. We don't just take into account our own people, we take into account everybody living around us, you know. It's just the way we are as a people. So with that just being said, you know, I'm just so grateful to see this work and where it's going, and the team that we have, you know, to carry on this work. Chew, Clicko.
I have a motion on the floor to receive the report.
So we still have a motion on the floor to receive the report. Let's move second. Go ahead, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to respond to that, to say we want to honor the heart that's necessary in this work. So we bring experience that we've talked a little bit about, but we understand the importance personally and to communities and nations of doing this work in reconciliation, and we hope to honor, you know, honor the way that it should be done, and bring some good heart to this work as well. So thank you for your words of encouragement and support.
Thank you. All in favor? Abstentions? Hearing none, motion's carried. Thank you. Moving on to the old growth forest management.
Move receipt.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you.
I'd like to move deferral of this item from the agenda to our next First Nations committee meeting, so that Chief Ronnie Shikite can address the group.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Seconder.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Director Vonich. Any discussion? All in favor? Abstentions? Seeing none, motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, next up is correspondence, and there are 7 items under there. We can move them individually, or we can move them all at once. I'll leave that to the table. What's
I'll
the
move
wish
all
of the
7,
table?
and then if anybody wants to pull anything, they can from there.
First up is the, oops, sorry.
I'll move items 1 through 7. And then if somebody wants to pull one, they can just pull it.
Second.
Thank you. Who's second? Thank you, Julie.
Unless someone wishes to pull something, we'll deal with them all as one group.
Unless somebody wishes to pull anything, we will deal with this all in one. All in favor? Abstentions or discussion, excuse me? Abstentions? Seeing none, motion's carried. Thank you. Moving on under addendum items, we have one Indigenous Justice Advocate, Mary Sinclair.
I'll move receipt of the addendum. Or do I need to move that the addendum be considered first?
I'll second that the addendum be considered.
Perfect. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Director Colburn.
I'll move receipt of the addendum item.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Abstentions? Seeing none, motion's carried. Thank you.
I think that's it for your agenda.
That is it for today's agenda.
I'll move to terminate.
Move to terminate.
Second.
Thank you, Director Vonage. Thank you, Director Rooney. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thanks all. Have a fantastic day. See you when we see you.
Bye, everybody.